Hello everyone, welcome to Sunburned plays, or does the tier list for the dragon types, the final list, I think. And, you know what's fitting that the final list will be dragons? The conceptually most powerful type in the history of Pokemon, as always, mentioned. You know, always the, like, legendary type, always the, you know, like, super evolved form, like, oh yeah, every champion's got at least one dragon. Usually a couple of them. Champion Lance, which this theme is what that is, has 3 dragons at least, and the other ones are like fake dragons, but you know, it's still like the same deal. So we've got some of these megas we actually do have to rank because the megas added a dragon type that wasn't previously there previously. So like Mega Charizard, for instance, Mega Executor, Mega Ampharos, Mega Sceptile, all these things I'm gonna have to talk about. So we'll get into the megas, we'll get into all the dragon types. Let's start it off, man. Starting top left, always we're doing it. Mega Charizard X, because Mega Charizard Y is still fire flying, I believe, which would make sense. Mega Charizard X adds dragon type, makes him black with blue fire. First of all, fantastic design, absolute killer design. Did a great job making Charizard look BA, because regular Charizard was getting stale looking. You know, same old design year after year. Like, they've been making new dragons that have made Charizard look like it's not that impressive anymore. Because, you know, previously the only dragon they had was Dragonite, and Dragonite looks like it should be handing candy to children. Like, it's not, it looks like a mascot. It doesn't look like something that's actually strong. So Charizard, along with Gyarados, I suppose, really took the cake in Generation 1 for, like, the most, cool-looking, sort of intimidating monster Pokemon. And so Mega Charizard X really does a lot to bring some of that back, because he does look really super badass. So I will put Mega Charizard X into A tier as far as dragons go, because he does do a really good job there. And like, dude, just black dragons, something about black dragons is just infinitely more badass than like any other color of dragon. I don't know what it is, man, but it's just that's how it is to me. And then, you know, what a contrast between Mega Charizard X and that's not Mega Executor, Alolan Executor, which is dragon type because the game says that it is, I suppose. And you don't really. He identifies as dragon type. What are you gonna do? You're gonna tell him he's not a dragon? Look at him. He has dragon type. Fairy is super effective against him. He must be dragon. So, that's whatever. Alolan Executor is, dude, as far as dragons go, like, you can go right into D tier. He's just a long-necked palm tree that's like, I'm a dragon, and I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't care what science says. You're not a dragon. I don't buy it. I don't care what the developers programmed you a dragon type that was not biologically yours to begin with, in my estimation. Then we have Dragonite, who again is like, it's just a cuddly, like, big teddy bear of a dragon. It's not even, it's not intimidating. It's only intimidating because our nostalgia dictates that, like, this was the only dragon of Gen 1. So it's like, oh, it's a dragon, it must be super cool. But, like, if you just look at Dragonite, it's like a stuffed doll. It's not anything. It's really strong. Like, its stats don't betray it being good at all. Like, it's got very good stats. It's just so, like, ugh. I'm putting it in B tier. Honestly, putting it in B tier. Dragonite goes into B tier. It's a basic-ass dragon. That's just the way it is. It's a basic dragon. That's the way it goes. There's way cooler-looking dragons, and we're gonna get to them, and they're gonna be placed higher than B tier, I'll tell you that. Mega Ampharos is just another Alolan Executor situation. Like, what, you're dragon type because you grew your hair out? That's not how it works, dude. Where you're dragon type because you grew a tail that doesn't even look like a dragon's tail? I don't think so. I'm not on board with it. I don't believe it. I don't believe you when you tell me you're a dragon type. That's not what I see. You cannot influence how I perceive you with how you feel on the inside. You are, but you're better than a Alolan Executor. I'll put you in C tier. Mega Ampharos, I don't know why it's dragon type. It is not dragon type. So let's do Kingdra. Kingdra is alongside Dragonite, if you ask me. You know, not Mega Charizard level. Kingdra, you know, I mean, Generation 1, like, the game thought that Horsey and Seadra were dragon types, apparently, even though they weren't, because they showed up in the, or Gen 2, I should say. Because they showed up in the gyms, in, like, the Blackthorn City gym, and it's like, dude, this isn't a Horsey. A Horsey is not a dragon, a Seadra is not a dragon. And then Kingdra came along, and was like, I mean, there is that. But it's just like, dude, you don't belong. Well, okay, well then let's think about the logistics. Like, say you're a dragon-type trainer and you want to be a gym trainer. If you're training your Horsey or Seadra to be a Kingdra, are you just not supposed to ever use them in battle? Well, then how are you supposed to train them, you know? You use them to fight against the trainer that comes in because you're on the road to Kingdra with your Horsey and or Seadra. So I guess that sort of makes sense a little bit. So whatever. You know, I'll let that slide, I suppose. But also, dude, what was even the deal with Horsey and Seadra in Gen 1? I don't think there even was. You know, like, dude, I think there was a Horsey in, like, the water-type gym, which makes sense. And then, like, I don't know, I don't think Seadra had any sort of bearing on dragon types in the first generation. I don't think they tried to pass that off. That was a Gen 2 thing, but it still makes sense because it evolves into Kingdra eventually. But, like, none of these gym trainers were gonna ever get that because they had to, like, trade or with a scale or some shit. I don't remember. And there was only one of those in the game, and I took it, so haha, all of your Seadra are just gonna be Seadra. You need to quit. Just, you know, get a Dratini, just train that, and call it good. Mega Sceptile, yeah, having a Christmas tree on your back does not make you a dragon type. Sorry to say, it doesn't work like that, man, but as far as Megas go, like, you're still better than, Ampharos. As far as dragon type Megas that don't deserve to be dragon type, you are the best one. Whereas, you know, Mega Charizard deserves to be dragon type, which is why it's an A tier. Mega Sceptile does not deserve to be dragon type, so it is in B tier as far as dragons are concerned, but it's very good at grass, you know, it'll be much higher tier in the grass tier list. Then we have Flygon. Dude, you're just embarrassing yourself. It's so annoying how weak Flygon is. I bring it up every time. Same attack stat as Trapinch. Does not gain any more attack. You're better off staying as a Trapinch. Your chompy Trapinch jaws do more damage than your big dragon claws and wings somehow. Well, I mean, you don't have big dragon claws, I suppose. Got like T-Rex claws. Like you got wimpy little hands. They don't even look. I don't know. Like, this is a bug, by the way. Like, Flygon looks like a bug. You know, it looks like it's like a dragonfly. Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, like dude, if trip types were a thing, Flygon would be ground, dragon, and bug. Has there been a bug dragon type yet? I feel like if there had been, I would be seeing it in this tier list. Because this is Poison Dragon, evidently. This thing at the bottom right here. Yeah, there should be a bug dragon type. That's something I'm going to be looking forward to eventually. Then we have... Yeah, so Flygon needs to be better. Give it a Galarian form that makes it cool. Give it better stats. That would be great. Altaria. Probably same lines as Flygon. Except Altaria is like a little better. I don't know, like, Altaria is... I think it's sort of a little better than Flygon. But I think it's also not. I don't remember, but it's bulkier. I just don't know. I really like Mega Altaria. Mega Altaria is super good. The Dragon Fairy type, like, this thing can clean house. Mega Altaria really kicks ass. I will put it in A tier. A lot, you know, it'll be one of the ones that I rank separately, and it's good enough, and that's cool. So that's cool. Good for it. Then we have Salamence, who is S tier. Salamence would be an example of a dragon that makes Charizard look like a dunce. Because Salamence is an actual dragon, and it's actually super cool, and it's actually really intimidating and big, and like it's a perfectly designed dragon-type Pokemon. It looks fantastic. It is really solid. I love the color combinations. That pale red with the pale blue, and like the white underside, like that is good. That is good design. You know what's worst design is this like hang gliding Salamence. This mega that is just like, it just looks like you can stand on its wings as a platform. Which I guess you probably can, but I don't know. It's weird. I don't like that. I think that's a downgrade from regular Salamence. Latios and Latias, you guys can both be B tier. I don't care that much. Mega Latias is worse. I don't like the look of that at all. That's, you know, red and blue makes purple. That makes sense. I understand that, but this design is just horrible. It's got like, I don't even know how to describe this. It's got, its arms are like inside other arms, or like plain wings. I don't get it. I straight up don't. I mean, you know, the design of Latios and Latias was always based sort of off like aircraft, like certain fighter jets. I'm sure, but this is just taking a step too far, if you ask me. Rayquaza is S tier. Mega Rayquaza is S tier? Dude, I didn't know you could make Rayquaza look more badass, but you did it. This looks absolutely... This would make me piss my pants if I saw that in real life. That would... I would say prayers to a god I don't believe in if I saw Rayquaza. Mega Rayquaza just sort of hovering in midair like it was about to destroy the whole world with a Hyper Beam or something. Then we have Garchomp, which is also S tier. Garchomp, no, the evolution of dragon types as far as generations are going, they get better. They get much better. They go from Salamence to Garchomp. Garchomp looks, it's not as big as Salamence, like it's not as wide, but like it shares the exact same value of like intimidation and stuff. That factor, I mean, like you see a Garchomp and you're like, oh man, I gotta be careful here. Like that's really cool. Garchomp is what Flygon should have been, you know? And I feel like because they made Garchomp, they just kicked Flygon to the curb. They were like, we already have a ground dragon type that's what people want, so like we're just gonna throw that one out. Mega Garchomp just makes him look dumber. I'm gonna put that in like B tier. I don't know, like, it's just kind of weird look. It's his head. His skull looks kind of caved in. It looks like he's just, like, he lost, like, 50 IQ when he went... I don't know. Like, I don't like it. He sort of mostly looks the same, but I vastly prefer this design, so we put Mega Garchomp in B tier there. Then we've got Dialga, who is S tier, because he looks so good. Then we have Palkia, who is B tier, because he looks nasty. I don't like that at all. Then we have Giratina, who is S tier. Then we have Giratina O, who is A tier. Same thing we did with the whole ghost type tier list not too long ago. Then we have, oh, Haxorus. Dude, Haxorus is like the primo badass dragon type as far as I'm concerned. This, of Salamence and Garchomp and Haxorus, I think Haxorus looks the most badass. I think it looks the strongest too. Like that, this dude can cut it up. Crazy attack stat, super good. Just, you know, I've never been able to use one, but I would really enjoy the opportunity at some point. You can in X and Y. X and Y is a pretty easy, like you can catch Axu at like level 19 when you've got like 2 or 3 gym badges in that situation. So, yeah, that's your time. Alright. Then we have Dragalge. Dragalge is strong but ugly. It's, you know, it's sort of like a reject dragon type. Like, if you're going to compare it to the likes of Salamence and Garchomp and Haxorus, like, Dragalge is like this sort of like just never gonna... It's a wannabe dragon, sort of. But it is still, like, strong, and it's got rough skin, which is a great ability. It looks nasty. Like, I don't like it. It looks all thorny. I mean, that's the rough skin aspect, I understand that, but... its head is the worst part. Like, I hate the fact that its head is red and the rest of its body is blue like that. I don't like that. It could have been better designed. If there was more blue in its head, like if its head wasn't just straight red, which is obviously supposed to match like its spikes or scales or whatever these are, but like if it had some other color combinations going on in its head, it would look a lot better. I think Dragalge could use a Galarian form. Or an evolution. It doesn't need an evolution, it's already pretty strong, but... You know, that's fine. Then we have Hydreigon, who is a pretty easy S tier. Again, just like the dragon types are killing it, like all the way from Gen 3 to 6. They are straight up murdering, and this is Gen 5, so... Okay, so maybe they're killing it from Gen 5, let's say. Yeah. Because Gen 6 is sort of a downgrade. But one of them is up there, but like two of them sort of don't hold up. But yeah, Hydreigon is S tier, that's pretty clear. Reshiram, I'm gonna put Reshiram in A tier. I think Reshiram looks amazing. I think Zekrom is B tier. So this is like the one turnoff or contrast between what I was like, dude, black dragons look the coolest, and Hydreigon is another example of that. But Zekrom is the opposite. Reshiram, the white dragon, looks way cooler. It's my opinion, you know, you can disagree with it, but I just think that's the one thing that's a little bit different. Then you have Kyurem. Kyurem, you go B tier. This Kyurem also looks... Kyurem looks unwell. Like, Kyurem looks unstable, which is kind of adds to that scary factor. It just kind of looks like you have unpredictable, like you have no idea whether it was gonna, you know, go on a rampage or like be calm or anything. It just has the sort of that like not quite all there in the head sort of look to it. Looks deranged. Kyurem is a little bit deranged. And, you know, when you're crazy and unpredictable, you just become more scary as a result of that. And then these Kyurem formations, I don't really care for them. I don't care about them. They both go B tier. Did I say formations? I meant fusions. Forms would also work. Formations is the only one that wouldn't work, and that was the one I chose to go with. Dragalge. I mean, this would be another example of Gen 6 not quite cutting it in dragons, but there's... Okay, so Dragalge is... I'll put it in C tier. It's probably better than, like, these two. I'll put it in B tier. It shouldn't be on the same level as Mega Ampharos, I'll tell you that. Dragalge, you know, underwater deep sea creature. Hangs out in the deep, which automatically... Dude, if you were diving and you run into Dragalge, you're probably just gonna die of a heart attack right out of the gate. You're gonna be like, oh shit, that shouldn't have been diving out here. So, yeah... But then we have Tyrantrum, which makes Gen 6 dragons, you know, that brings it up a bit, because Tyrantrum as a dragon is still S tier in my opinion. And I very much enjoy him. We just talked about him last episode on the rock types. That he is a quintessential dragon. I mean, he's based on a dinosaur, and like dinosaurs aren't necessarily dragons, but they are lizards, and dragons are basically flying lizards that are kind of dinosaurs, in a sense. Presuming that they existed in around the same period, but they didn't. So... Or, well, they did, but then they didn't. Here's the deal. This isn't correct, but I also 100% believe that dragons were real. I 100% believe that. It's not right, but it's definitely what happened. Like, there were dragons, and then we erased all actual history of them and just made them, and discredited anybody who said anything about dragons being real. Just like, oh, it's just folklore. Oh, it's folk tales, it's mythos, it's legend. Like, nah, dude, there were definitely dragons. Dinosaurs are dragons. Any dinosaur that flew is also a dragon. Like, that's how it actually is. Dude, we have descendants of dragons named Komodo dragons that we call Komodo dragons because we acknowledge that they came from dragons. That they're descendants of dragons. Why else would you call them dragons? So yeah, any dinosaur that flew is literally a dragon because dragons are flying lizards. Reptiles of the genome, lizards, whatever it is. So technically, you know, dragons as we, like, tend to refer to them, if you think of like what they look like dragons, like that these creatures are based off of, probably like didn't exist or whatever. But like there were dragons, because there were flying lizards. Ancient flying lizards. Ancient big flying lizards. That's as close to the definition of dragon as you can possibly get. So, also, dragons as we refer to them, I still 100% believe that they existed. You know, maybe not in medieval times, but like, which is where they're often depicted as far as like being alongside humans and stuff, but like they totally. Where did the idea of dragons come from? Oh, somebody just made that up out of absolutely nowhere, just out of thin air. They were just like, you know what, dragons. Dude, what if we took dinosaurs and we gave them wings? They already did that. Earth did that. They took dinosaurs and they gave them wings. That was natural selection doing that shit. So yeah, dragons are 100% real. And I don't remember where I was going with that, but Tyrantrum is pretty awesome. I guess that's the takeaway. Goodra is a pretty good dragon. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's not quite S tier because like it lacks the wow factor that all these other S tier dragons have. But Goodra's like Dragonite, really. It really is actually exactly like Dragonite, as far as its theme goes and just its whole essence that it's got going on. But I think Goodra's even nicer. I think Goodra, they play into that nice guy role more, whereas Dragonite, it just happens by accident because they just designed a Pokemon that doesn't look fierce at all. So Goodra is sort of more well adapted to its role, and like, you know, when Goodra uses Dragon Pulse, like it's still very strong. It's still a strong-ass Pokemon. And when Ash went back and got it for like the League Challenge after he had previously like let it, you know, stay in its reserve or wherever it was lived, I was like, dude, yeah, you better go back and get that shit. Goodra's awesome. I love it. So yeah. And Goodra was one of the Pokemon that I totally called Ash Training too, because I like to do this thing where when the new anime season comes out, I predict what Pokemon Ash is going to use. And sometimes I'm pretty accurate, and Gumi was an example of me being accurate. I was like, he's definitely going to get Gumi. Also, I definitely called Hawlucha. And yeah, so I haven't seen Sun and Moon, so I don't know what Pokemon he uses on there, but I assume Rockruff is one of them. Like, that's straight up gotta be. There's no way they wouldn't give him Rockruff. Anyway, what are we talking about? How about... Oh yeah, we're on Noivern now. Noivern... I mean, after watching the anime, it's really hard for me to think of Noivern as not, like, a young child that is super ineffectual in battle. I don't know, I'll put it in the C tier alongside Flygon and Altaria. It's pretty much like up there. Noivern, I don't know. Noivern is like if Golbat was a dragon. It's basically like that same sort of deal, because it's a bat and it's a dragon. I don't know. Yeah. Basically, yeah, we'll just call it that. Dude, not a single F tier in dragons yet? Oh, but, I mean, we'll get there, based on what I'm looking at here. Zygarde is C tier. Zygarde is not that good. Or at least this dragon form is not very good. This, like, perfect cell from Dragon Ball Z form is, it's too derivative for me to like it. Like, it's very clear what the, inspiration for that was. Meanwhile, the dog looks the best of the three of them, but the dog doesn't have good stats, so it's just like Zygarde as a whole is a theme that I didn't appreciate really. Or that was not realized in a way that was full enough for me to be like, this is cool. Like I am indifferent to this whole situation basically. Then we have Turtonator. Turtonator is D tier. It's Torkoal if it was a dragon. And, you know, it's always turning its back on you, man. It's always like, oh, talk to my back. And it's like, that's rude. I'm over here. Can you turn around and look me in the eyes when I'm talking to you? I'm not looking in your eyes because I have, you know, socially awkward, but You know, still, for a Pokemon that isn't socially awkward, to just turn its back on you and not look at you, it's very rude. You don't have extenuating circumstances to explain that away, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you go into D tier. Mostly just because it is weird looking and it's not very cool and it's not very really anything. So, yeah, you go into D tier. You're not F tier, though. Like, you're cool enough to not be F tier. If that's a compliment. Drampaw? Dude, I absolutely love Drampaw. It's going straight into S tier. Have you ever used Drampaw? Dude, have you, had Drampaw in Sun and Moon and, like, done Pokemon on me with it? Its eyebrow, it has the most flexible eyebrows I've ever seen in my life. If you pet it on the head, its eyebrows, like, do contortions. They're, like, completely free-range eyebrows. They're not tethered by any sort of muscles. They just, like, float in front of his head and just, like, do circles. And it's, like, absolutely crazy. His eyebrows are a marvel of Pokemon design. It's pretty insane. Also, Drampaw is, like, a dragon that's specifically designed to be good with kids. Like, it's a caregiver type of dragon, and, like, kids love it, and I totally buy that 100%. Like, you look at this Pokemon, it really fits that role. Like, this is a Pokemon that is fully realized in its theme, and it's also very strong. It's normal dragon type, which is extremely, like, strange, but also cool, because, you know, it gets, you know, the normal type moves like Hyper Voice and whatever. And it gets a bunch of moves that are, like, related to caregiving, like Yawn or, I don't know, like, I'm struggling to think of examples, but, like, he was learning stuff, and I was like, oh, this would be a good move in a babysitting scenario, like, to make kids fall in line or, like, go to sleep or whatever. So, like, there was stuff. It was cool. I really like Drampaw. I didn't think I would like Drampaw, and then I used it, and I was like, wow, I really like Drampaw. Then we have Kommo-o, which is not Hakomo-o, but it's Kommo-o. And you would think that Hakomo-o would be the evolution, but it's not. It's Kommo-o for some reason. That's fine. Kommo-o is manufactured coolness. And the last time I said that, somebody was like, because I said, like, I'm just putting it here for a second. Because I was like, you know, Kommo-o is only really good because, like, the developers made him really good. And then somebody commented, like, yeah, that's every Pokemon. And I'm like, yeah, but do you know what I mean, though? Like, I don't know. Maybe you don't. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe I don't have a defense against that, but, like, it still makes sense to me. There's Pokemon who, like, earn their coolness and their strength, and there's Pokemon who it's like, they're like, oh, we only designed this because whatever, or to fit, like, a certain role. It's you know, I don't know. Like, I feel like, you know, it depends on how they do design. Sometimes they design a Pokemon, and then, you know, like, it's different departments. The artists design a Pokemon, and then they show it to, like, the rest of the team, and then the team, based on that Pokemon's looks or whatever, like, sort of decides what its stats might be, or, you know, introduces changes to fit it better in the meta of, like, how other Pokemon are designed. So it's like, this Pokemon just looks like it was messed with a bunch to, like, fill some sort of role. Like, this was a diversity hire. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I just think more other dragons are more authentic than this dragon. So I'm gonna put it in A tier. Because, like, despite that, the results are still in, and that it's super strong and ridiculous, and dragon fighting as a type is, like, extremely OP. Then we have Guzzlord, right? Isn't that what this is called? This is a dragon type? Put it in D tier. I don't care. I don't care. This... Oh, I forgot. That's right. Ultra Necrozma, you still go into F tier because you're just nothing. You're just a smattering of light on a I can't. This doesn't comprehend. I don't understand what this is. It's just a bunch of disembodied parts. It's like Dead Space, where you dismembered every limb of a dragon and then they all just float separately. Like, we're still alive, and it's like, what? I don't like it. And then I don't remember what the Poipole was the pre-form of this. And then this becomes dragon type? This looks like Beedrill. Imagine Beedrill being a dragon type. That'd be scary as hell. I'm also going to put you in D tier. I don't like the way you look at all. I don't think you deserve your dragon type in the slightest. You're a bug poison type. You're a Beedrill that thinks it's a dragon, and I'm not on board with it, man. But, yeah, that's going to do it for the dragon tier list. If we go through, we got, dude, S tier, so many S tiers. We got Salamence, we got Rayquaza, we got Mega Rayquaza, we got Garchomp, we got Dialga, we got Giratina, we have Haxorus, we have Hydreigon, we have Tyrantrum, and we have Drampa. And then F tier, we have Ultra Necrozma, because fuck Ultra Necrozma, you know what I mean? Screw this Pokemon that I don't like at all. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this, it's gonna do it for the whole typing style. There's gonna be other ways that I can, do tier lists for Pokemon. I'll just have to give it a little bit of thought. So I hope you enjoyed it, stick around, I hope, like, share, and subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and I will see you guys next time.